Welcome to No Room for Phonies. I think this is episode, not sure what number now.
157?
Could be.
Or 156.
Doesn't really matter. I think it's 157. So we're still talking about the book Happy Couple, 50 Ways to Love Better. And have a hard time knowing how to say
Monaz Chenthemaraction and Snicha Murali.
Anyway, the list goes on. So today we're just going to go through numbers 26 to 50 because we did 1 to 25 last time.
And if you're just discovering us today, then you can go back an episode and listen to it.
Yeah, the 1 to 25.
Yeah.
So number 26 is have a technology-free day, unplug, and rediscover the art of being present. Press the reset button on your relationship. Quality time, mindful connection.
And do some kind of explorations like cook something new together, go on a hike, travel to a nearby town, and definitely free up some times with no screens.
And just a digital detox. So I think we find sometimes when we get into the habit of just watching TV, we get a lot less done when there's stuff to be done.
And there's stuff to be done.
And then things start piling up and then you start getting stressed about stuff. Whereas if you
And if we spend too much time scrolling just before bed or first thing in the morning, it can kind of set the mood or not, or it just interfere with proper sleep.
Yeah. So number 27 is having this ritual of kind of asking each other what good happened last week, what didn't go well, how can we improve our relationship, and asking that complete set of questions and letting the other person speak their truth without interruption.
So silent listening for when it's not your turn to share.
But be consistent, like dedicated time to doing this, because it's kind of like preventative marriage maintenance, asking and listening, and then appreciate the words that are being shared.
Yeah, responding with gratitude and encouraging open and deep connection. That would be a fun one to try when we do our schedule planning.
Like Sunday night calendar kind of time. 28 is the idea of spending time organizing your home together, because your home is a reflection of your mental space. And so I find clutter very overwhelming and stressful. So every time, if I go through and sweep or dust or whatever, I also declutter things. And having a wardrobe or a closet that's really cluttered.
It's frustrating, yeah.
Make your home a reflection of a collective effort, and don't just make it all one person's responsibility to look around and say, hey, there's a lot of crap around here. Let's get this organized and get rid of stuff.
I'm laughing because when we were first married, I was a bit of a hoarder, and also I was blind to clutter. But
yeah, I think you can put memories and sentiments. Like now you can take pictures and store either pictures of cards and things that you really like. You can actually just, get rid of storing things in boxes.
And maybe buy less.
Yeah.
You can build something together. They use a fabric analogy, which is funny because we do knitting and sewing, but weave the threads of your relationship into the very fabric of your living space. So
painting, DIY decor and plants and homemade gifts. I found it was interesting the last time. Oh, you weren't here, but when we had visitors one weekend when you were away, they were asking me about the pictures in the living room, and it was interesting that every single picture almost that we have hanging in our house has some kind of sentimental value to it. It's just not random.
It wasn't a design piece.
No,
picked by an interior designer.
Right, kind of like that whole idea of, having a home that reflects your.
Yeah, but when we bought the group of 7 painting and some of the others, we know our decor. We both know it.
Yes.
We know the colors.
Yes, we know what we liked, but it just to have things in your home that mean something to you rather than just, I need that very expensive photo or picture.
Right, or just something to fill in a blank space. Yeah.
So number 30 is play, laugh, and bond. Spend quality time in the comfort of your home. Games, puzzles, relaxing, reconnecting. In the chaos of life, these moments of shared enjoyment are precious. Try something new. Create some kind of a tradition. And I like this idea of setting aside a specific day each month or even each week and playing games
as game
together.
night. And I think like we played Scrabble a while ago, and it was just nice not to
Yeah.
have the TV on and just
And then the other thing that we do, and I know it's online, but those Wordles and connections and all those kinds of things.
those are fun games to help each other with and play around.
31 is no public spats. Respect your partner. Keep your arguments private. Give yourself the space to resolve issues without external interference. Present a united front. Our arguments are like thunderstorms. They come and go. So you want your home to be like a harmonious atmosphere for those around you.
And it's just uncomfortable for those around you in public.
Yes, and even in your own home.
And
we've been in situations where the couple has kind of been spatting with each other.
Snappish.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and we worked through not doing that early on in our
it's just not. I don't find it respectful.
And in front of the kids, once they were a little older, they would be part of family
that's
meetings.
number 32. Little observers, big learners. Kids watch and learn and about how
to treat
each other and how do you express love and how do you handle conflict. And you want it to the best of your ability, show them what a healthy relationship looks like, about working together and supporting each other, because you're not really just raising children, you're nurturing future partners and parents.
And we always made sure it was very important that if the kids were aware that we had argued, that they would also see us make up.
Yes. I laughed last weekend because when Mason was here last weekend, we kissed. Like he started to really be aware of
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not wanting it to.
No, it's just funny. I think they like it and they don't like it all
at the same time. So keep the D word under lock and key. Do not use the word divorce. It's off limits. Choose patience and resilience and forgive and compromise. Forgive each other, compromise, and grow together.
Yeah, I think when you throw that word around, it just...
And not even in jest.
No, it's not funny. Number 34 is to boundaries and respect and healthy space. Don't expect your partner to be a mind reader. Fortify the trust and show love and respect. Share what you need.
And I remember this from the Gottmans, that it's okay to just say, I need some space, I need a break, and to walk away for 10, 20 minutes. It shouldn't be hours and hours.
No.
And you shouldn't go for a drive.
No. No, I think like I used to give kids break cards in school, and sometimes they would misuse them. Like, they'd take a break every time they didn't want to do something or didn't want to talk about something. Oh, I need a break. And so I think that's not respectful and that's not healthy either, right?
It needs to be a balance. The art of compromise is very important. Real relationships are built on compromise. And you need to just embrace the imperfection, that there isn't necessarily a right answer. There's a right blend or combination.
And there's a middle ground that isn't really giving up or giving in. It's just a dance of love where each step moves you closer to harmonious connection. Compromise requires communication, understanding needs, and finding a solution that is satisfactory to everybody.
And I know some people think in black and white terms of winning or losing, and that if you're compromises, you're losing, but you're not. It's a win-win situation.
If you're finding common ground, you're not losing. No, and you're moving forward.
Something might have to be sacrificed, but that still doesn't mean.
But I think when they say a satisfying conclusion or solution, it's not maybe the one maybe you wanted exactly, but it's satisfactory.
Teamwork at home is very important. Share the responsibilities in your shared space.
And just showing respect for each other's time and effort and contribution, because all the roles are valued, and small daily acts of support and understanding really make a big difference.
And you want to reevaluate your childhood home exposure and your culture to see if the gender assigned roles are actually something that you want to allow or continue as a couple.
I mean, we've talked about this before, but there's kind of a balance between, like, when you are the stay-at-home mother or parent, it's not that you don't get as much satisfaction, like you don't get as much external kind of praise as you might on the job, kind of a thing. But it's just important that that role is appreciated. And it's also important that when the other person does something, that it's appreciated and not criticized
Or taken for granted.
it wasn't done exactly the way you wanted it to be done.
Right.
Right. Everybody has to have their own kind of ability to contribute.
And a fun one is 37, to nurture your partner's passions.
You need to understand what kind of stirs your partner's soul and actually be a detective about that. You have a golden ticket to help your partner live their dreams.
This is also a good way to plan for future gift giving.
The best life partner you could ever have is a self-content individual and
self-confident.
They are dancing to the rhythm of their own heart. They are able to be present both physically and spiritually. So you want to fan the flames and bring their passions to light.
You want to be their ultimate cheerleader. And when your partner shines, so do you.
Marriage is a magnificent dance. Each person has a unique step to contribute. Be the catalyst that lights up their path on your shared journey. And then 38 is be the change. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. And that's a Leo Tolstoy quote. The dance of expectations. We can be constantly nudging our partner to change. We can't change someone else. We can only change ourselves. Begin with yourself. You can't speed up a sunrise. It happens at its own pace. So if you're working on yourself, then that should encourage your partner to work on themselves as well.
Leading by example.
Yeah.
Stepping into their shoes. So putting on empathy and feeling like what they're going through. Lending an ear and a shoulder and avoiding the fix-it syndrome.
Understand and listen with words of comfort and validation. Empathy creates a deep bond, and so you want to embrace heartfelt connection.
Unmasking assumptions. Even though we've been married 31 years, there's still times when one of us will assume something about the other.
Right.
Our partner cannot magically understand our thoughts and feelings. We are all a work in progress, and kick the assumption habit to the curb.
Yeah, it's embrace clear, direct, open communication and talk everything out. And this leads right directly into the next one, where you're talking about household meetings, where love meets logistics, a dash of organization, connection at a designated time, collaboration at managing your household, finances that are being discussed, avoiding misunderstandings by just meeting regularly.
And sharing calendars, and digitally now things are easier as well.
I still think it's good to discuss it. Budget, chores and responsibilities, vacations and goals and concerns.
And I think from week to week, chores and responsibilities could shift depending on one person's busyness and the other. So it's not great to get stuck this is his role or this is her role.
If I'm babysitting in Grimsby and not coming home till 6,
I'm going to miss
home, and you don't have a responsibility at work.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I just plan a meal that is easy because I know we're both busy right at the
But I mean, I know what gets cleaned on Mondays and what gets done on Tuesdays. So
and I have a pretty whatever. But if you write your script together, then you're nurturing connection. And the 42 is pretty easy to share your goals and adventures, dream together, plan things, celebrate milestones, build memories, create stories, like all those, take on the challenges. All those things help with your relationship.
And 43, conflict can be a blessing. So it's normal. And in the heat of the battle, the truth comes out.
So honesty. We have to be honest and learn and grow together and listen to all the different perspectives. You also have to choose your battles and find common ground. And the warrior part should be a warrior of your love, because you want your love story to be epic.
Mm-hmm. And
when epic doesn't mean that you travel all around the world or have lots of money.
No.
Like, that's not the kind of epic that I'm
not
thinking.
epic for status purposes.
No, for
Yeah.
status, no.
And then, like, after an event or after a week or a month or whatever, you can do a postmortem or a debriefing. But I just listened recently to a kind of a flip on that, is instead of a postmortem, you do a premortem. So you kind of think, what are the things that could go wrong in this week, plan, month, whatever, and then you mention what those things are, and then you can avert them,
Right.
and you can kind of be alert to people's anxieties about what's coming, and depending if it's a fun thing or not a fun thing.
Right. But there's good anxiety too. There's good stress. And number 44 is, don't expect them to be your parent, not in the way of parenting, but in comparing them, your spouse, to your parent. Sometimes there's resemblances, but you have to let your partner be your true self. You fall in love with who they are, not who you wish they would become.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us really. I didn't date my mother, and you didn't date your father.
No, and
but I mean, there's couples where that happens.
But I mean, I always felt this more from your mother, where I didn't cook things properly or make things the way she thought that they should be made. But I never got that from you.
No,
because you want to, and I think we've done a fairly good job of incorporating our backgrounds into our life.
Yeah.
And not pushing your spouse to be, to do everything the same way.
Yeah. To do Christmas the same.
Yeah.
Like all of those kinds of things. Reflect on your behavior. Take a step back and grab a mental mirror and check yourself out.
Mirrors always reflect the truth, and sometimes it's hard to swallow. Become the Sherlock Holmes of your relationship. Am I contributing positively or negatively? Ask for feedback and get a different perspective.
I was thinking of this as well. Respect the other person's values. As we've grown together, we share a lot of values. I don't know if there's too many more left that would be different, but in the beginning, it's definitely important to respect each other's values.
I like the way they say this. These are the invisible stars that guide you and your partner's life. Acknowledge and respect them. And these are kind of the places where you have values, and that is like financial and in spending habits, and in family values, and work-life balance, and religious and spiritual values, and health and wellness, eco-friendly, political values, communication styles. So you have to acknowledge and respect the differences and find compromise and find solutions to the differences. And I mean, I think probably the hardest one would probably be the spending one. That would be a hard
for a lot of
one
people is a big spender, and the other one is.
And the family. But all of them can bring stress into your relationship.
But the thing is, those values are deeply embedded, and it's more important to explore that why they're there, and
that's where the mirror comes in, because you can look and say, well, what this other person is saying about spending or about not spending or about whatever is actually valid, and you can shift and co-create the harmony that you want in your household.
Yeah, and some values come from deep embedded personality traits, and they're not going to change or shift.
No.
And the other person might not embrace it to the same intensity as the other one.
Yeah. And then there's the parent trap of you've got to navigate challenges together first, and be a team, and try to keep the intimate details to yourself about, things that are happening, but you can also seek support. It's not a bad thing to seek professional support.
Yeah. So by parent trap, are they referring to like one person parenting the other, or are they talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not make the one person.
Yeah. Parent. Okay.
Yeah.
Kids are great, but spouses are superstars.
So
Remember
you
to prioritize your companionship and your relationship. Your journey lasts a lifetime, and children do move on and move out most of the time. So keep the connection strong.
And you have to really continue to celebrate your love story amidst the chaos of parenthood. And that was really hard for us because we really didn't have any babysitting. And
No.
we really couldn't afford a lot of babysitting. So we had to be pretty creative about that.
But fortunately, we had good bedtime routines. So
Yeah.
we did have evenings to read and talk. And
Yeah. And this one is like, I wasn't overly like, this is knowing when your wife is going through her period, or I think this is true for like, not that men have periods, but men go through
we have different cycles.
So I think it is
circadian cycles.
Yeah. And I just think it's important to know when your partner is going through something and, be emotionally supportive, avoid conflicts, and spend quality time together and be appreciative. I would compare that to when I know you had blood work done this week, and I'm not going to come at you with something hot and heavy while you're waiting to hear.
Right.
I
What the
mean, it
results
was
are.
fine. The blood
Still cancer free.
fine, but it's still, I wouldn't
No.
come down hard on you about something when I know that you're stressfully waiting for some kind of results.
Right. Exactly.
Like it's just,
Yeah. And I mean, I grew up where my mom was taboo to know anything about her cycle,
which is wrong.
and yet, and my dad would make some lame excuses about, oh, that's just your mom and her ways. And I think that that's inappropriate because it doesn't validate.
And I also think women, it can be overplayed as well. You can just be tired from a big stressful thing that's happened at work, or things can happen. It doesn't have to be like directly related to that.
Right.
But I just think it's important when the other person is struggling with something or not feeling well, or if I have my back hurt this week, you're not going to come down on me about some, right? Like you have to.
Why aren't you vacuuming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at number 50, we evolve and change is inevitable, and it's part of life's beautiful symphony. Unconditional love for exactly who they are at this moment. I love you for who you are, who you were, and who you will become. And I thought that one was kind of important at the end.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's all for the 26 to 50
Yeah, so there's
ways to be a happy couple.
Two.
Yep. And then next month, April
15th, we're going to talk about finding solitude. Why is being alone and slowing down important? And I think it's really apropos to talk about this in this current society. I just think people are always on the go, like just being at home, being quiet, not planning it, not having to do something. I think it's a lost art.
And it's not only finding that'll be for next week.
Yeah. So anyway, April 15th, that's what our topic will be. So Thanks for joining us. And hopefully you can find a few things in the 1 to 50 to help you show love to your partner.
Good night.